greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Good morning, Vietnam!
It is the Al Travis Show. We always love having her on. She's Shannon Watson with Majority in the Middle. Shannon, how are you?
I'm okay, Al.
Well, that's a glowing endorsement of how you're doing. I'm glad I'm not you. I mean, honestly, I'm just really glad I'm not you. And I said
people are glad they're not me.
Oh, that's not true. But I also said thing to Representative Hudson when he was on the program. To go to the Capitol every day and in some way do it with a smile on your face when I can't imagine you honestly think something good is going to happen at the end of the day. It's almost you have to manage your own expectations, put a smile on your face. Well, I'll go, and if nothing happens, we'll consider that a win. How do you get up every day knowing nothing's going to go on?
Well, it depends on what your outcome is. If it's getting a bill passed, then yeah, I can see how a lot of people would be at this point in the session would be very nervous about how much is going to get done. The reality is that the legislature doesn't have to do anything this year. Like their constitutional job is to set the budget, and they did that last year.
Okay, you're going to drive me nuts. You're driving me nuts. This is why you drive me nuts. You drive me nuts.
Why?
They don't constitutionally have to do crap. I get it. They don't.
Yeah.
But are you telling me with the people you know, just regular Minnesota, the friends of Al's, we want stuff done. We want it done now. You can take the folks that want ice fixing stuff. Good. Go get your ice fixing stuff. You can take people who want the fraud fixing stuff. Get the fraud fixing stuff. You can remember back when guns was going to be a big thing? We have many things that I think each and every one of us carry that say we have to fix this problem, whatever you stand. And you're saying, well, they don't got to do nothing. Great. I'm glad I'm writing that check to pay them to sit around and talk with each other for a while.
Well, and that's the challenge, is that you want something done and somebody else, one of my neighbors here in Minneapolis may want the exact opposite thing done from you. So that is why we have, deliberative bodies.
I will give you $100. $100. If you can find me a real Minnesotan that isn't doing for the $100, I get it. A real human being that says we don't have to do something about the fraud in Minnesota. I don't know of anybody who sticks up for the fraud.
I don't think anybody sticks up for the fraud. I think
there you go. Let's fix that then.
Right. Well, and what is the fix? Is it talking about fraud constantly and pointing at other people, or is it actually skipping that nonsense and sort of buckling down? I see a lot of the former rather than the latter.
I would agree with you, but the former hasn't. Now I'm getting it all mixed up. The idea that we should just buckle down and stop whining about it hasn't happened. This is the one from yesterday, which, again, throws me over the top because it's like, you can't hire common sense. My old man said common sense is dying. This is a generation to go with me. An individual convicted of child care fraud, caught fleeing the country, still is operating an autism center and 2 assisted living facilities here in the state of Minnesota where we're sending her checks.
Yeah, so here's where I get in trouble on your show, Al, is that I don't pay a lot of attention to this stuff. And so I don't know, like the whole fleeing the country thing, what I heard was
they caught her at the
airport.
Well, that is how you free the... Let's say she's not fleeing the country. The fleeing the country is probably the least part.
She was going to Arizona,
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's do this. She was convicted of child care fraud. She's still running 2 more businesses that we're paying for. Why? Good God, why? I thoroughly believe I could get 95% of Minnesotans to say, once you're convicted of stealing money from us, the collective, you don't get any more. No shame. You're now, for life, you cannot run a company that we send you money. I think common people would agree with me on that.
Was she convicted of child care fraud, or was she convicted of part of the Feeding the Future thing?
It said childcare fraud in the article. So our Kristen
Okay.
Robbins said that. I just only get what I get in the newspapers. So but my point is, so I read stories like that, and I honestly don't believe this. I should believe it, but I don't. I don't believe we can write any more laws.
Okay.
Hudson was on saying that, we can come up with this
Cameron
law
doesn't
and
like a
this
lot of
law.
laws to start with.
And I said, why? We don't follow them. The Optum report came out,
Yeah.
and that's the company that the governor hired to tell us what we could do better. And they said
Third
you'd
party
save
audit.
1.7 billion with a B, people, if we followed our own rules.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, because you're into this. I'm a little shocked that the people we hire with our money to work for us don't follow our rules. And not that something slipped through the fingers, $1.7 billion.
Yeah.
I believe you don't need a rule to fix that, because you make another rule. If they're not going to follow it, it's really not a rule. It's just a rule of thumb. You get my point? I think there's really common sense crap that we could fix pretty quick.
I do. And I think when
There
you're
you
talking
go.
about that scale, you're talking about a culture issue. And culture is way harder to deal with than the rules situation.
It's not. The governor messed up, I'm going to tell you. Should have hired Al part-time for the DHS commissioner job. I would walk in there. I don't need any friends. Here's where it's going to be the same. If you just keep doing the same thing, you're going to get the same result. What is it they call that? Are you crazy
Insanity.
or something? Insanity. It's
Yeah,
insanity to do the
definition of
same thing over.
insanity.
Yeah. Okay. It's crazy. Yes. So you're insane to do the same thing over again and expect a different result. I don't know the Department of Human Services commissioner, whatever Cherie, whatever
I
name.
don't know. Yeah.
She's been in the department since 2017. She's been the assistant commissioner for the last 3 years. She was the acting commissioner for the last year. I only know her. I wouldn't be able to pick her out in the lineup, but I only know her because she was in one of the fraud committee hearings where the DHS people said, not the AUL people, AOL, Office of Audit and Water, was standing there saying, many people in your department backdated items and fraudulently filled out stuff after the fact. And she looked right at that person and said, I didn't know that.
Yep.
That person now runs the place. She is now running the place. So my point is, how do you expect anything different if nothing changes?
I am Googling right now in real time how many employees does Minnesota DHS have? And the
I'm sure
answer,
it's hundreds.
over 7,000.
All right.
Now,
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Assuming
Yes.
the commissioner knows everything that 7,000 people is doing is not fair. Granted,
Agreed.
I can bet you that she got out of that meeting and went and started hunting down that information. And that's part of
And how many got fired? How many do you feel comfortable got fired? If it's me, and this is back to, put me in charge for a little while because I don't need friends. Anyone who falsified information under my name because I'm the commissioner and you falsified a report or you backdated something, have a nice day on your way out. You need one of them white boxes to fill your desk up with. You know what I'm saying? You're doing your taxes. You're doing your taxes. And I know you well enough, Shannon, that you're going to put this line item down. Oh, I'm going to write this off. You'll make sure you have that receipt. You will make sure your stuff is perfect because you don't want the state of Minnesota coming after you. Why is that different for those we pay?
That the one difference, and again, I'm going to get myself in trouble on your radio show, is that disciplinary actions with unionized employees have a process.
Yep. I hope that every process got started. And this is how they would save face. I don't believe the process started. I don't. But okay. Tell me that we found, however many the auditor found, 13 people who did this. What she said was many. I don't know what many is.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. We have started disciplinary process on all of them. Okay, I will believe you and we'll see what happens. The idea is I don't believe it
There's also
happened.
HR privacy things that come into account that they can't necessarily go to a hearing and talk about disciplinary actions.
You can,
So
I can't.
This is part of the challenge is the fraud committee meets for 2 hours every Monday morning. And we cram a whole lot of stuff into that 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot that isn't disclosed. There isn't some of the things either just by time or some things because they can't. So I think this idea that we're going to say that 15 people got fired, whatever.
Why? You don't have to name names. I'm in charge of this department. I have 7,000 people on me. 14 are under investigation for things that you brought up last week. Auditor person. Okay, if you want to tell your friends and neighbors that you're one of them, that's you telling them, not me. I just need. There is no transparency, and that's
there's a fascinating. You're sort of looking like you need to go to commercial.
Well, because I'd love chatting with you. If I didn't have to have commercials, I wouldn't. Can you write a note and remember what you're going to say?
Yes.
And then guaranteed, because people think I'm just on her for being on her sake.
Yes.
Shannon and I, before we went on the air, went at it about one of the bills that came up today or yesterday, and we're going to talk about this. Should we have cursive? It's coming up. This is the important stuff we're working on. Shannon Watson has a deal. Then we're going to talk cursive handwriting right after this.
You need a friend at the Capitol who knows how to get things done.
And you're in luck because that's exactly who we are, your friends at the Capitol, and we deliver results.
At Momentum Advocacy, we bring decades of experience in lobbying, public affairs, and crisis communications.
From local nonprofits to national corporations, we help you move policy, manage your media, and make your voice heard.
We're not just seasoned pros, we're essential partners.
Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol. Learn more at momentum-advocacy.com.
There's never a good time for car trouble, especially when you've got places to be. Whether it's a mysterious rattle under the hood or just time for that routine oil change, you need a mechanic you can trust. That's where Jay's Auto in Blue Earth comes in. From strange noises to engine diagnostics, Jay and his team provide honest service at a fair price. They're proud to keep their neighbors on the road safely, season after season. Don't wait for a breakdown. Stop at Jay's Auto today or call 525-1052.
Are you kidding me?
You know that comment you said to the radio? The thing that we got wrong?
Clearly, Brussels sprouts are the worst vegetable.
Call us and let the world know your thoughts. 855-257-7469. That's 855-ALS-SHOW.
She's Shannon Watson. She's with Majority in the Middle. She says she gets in trouble in my program. Here's the problem. I bring up common sense, everyman feelings, and she has to explain why and how the system works. That puts you in a bad spot, I agree. You're not wrong. You're just trying to make it understandable and why we get where we're at. You should not say it's the blame.
Well, and that's the thing. Some of these things are enormously complicated. And And I also, while I'm also careful about, doing my taxes and making sure I have the receipt, I try to do that with communication as well. I want to make sure I have the receipt. And so I know what the heck I'm talking about before I go,
and you do fine
across the airwaves.
And for smart guys like you, complicated works. I am a puddle when it comes to mental capability. I'm just going to tell you how it feels. It seems wrong. Fix it. Yeah. I'm no deeper than that. This is the puddle versus the ocean, and you do a great job. Do not feel that you're not. It's just more frustrating for puddle people. We get more frustrated as you explain it.
Right.
So
yes.
You're agreeing with me on the puddle people. You could argue with me on that, but you didn't argue with me being a puddle. Thank you, Shannon.
Well, and sometimes I feel like a puddle in the ocean, like I'm trying to figure it out. Yes.
Here's the thing that we had to talk about, because I didn't even think of it like a big thing, but when I brought it up to you before we went on, we went off. Big Bill introduced Rest, I believe, brought it up. We need cursive writing in Minnesota schools. It should be a law. And I said to you, do we have to have a law on such thing? 100 superintendents?
That's a very good question. I don't know if we need to have a law.
Well, we just like writing laws because then everybody has to follow. But you made the most. Your point was about our founding fathers.
Yes. Well, our founding documents, the Constitution, the Declaration, a lot of the correspondence from that time, it wasn't printed. It was handwritten in cursive.
Yep.
And if you can't draw cursive, the implication is you can't really read cursive either. And I don't necessarily want future generations not being able to look at the source document, because what if AI says, hey, the Constitution says this, and you look at the Constitution and you can't read it. You don't know that maybe AI is trying to make something up.
Well, and I completely agree. I just feel weird to have a state law when we have all these teachers and bureaucrats that are supposed to just do that. But I'd agree with you 100%. I have children who don't sign their name. It's print block letters, and that drives me crazy. But on the same line, can we put in this bill that businesses can't accept that thing where you got to sign with your finger on the little tablet that they're hovering over you, and it looks like it doesn't even look like my signature, but the bank's like, okay, I'll put his finger on there. We got to get rid of that, right? I mean, that seems weird.
What do you want to do instead? Do you want to actually sign it?
Yeah, no, they used to put a piece of paper down and then you sign it. And that was my signature. Now, anybody, and I shouldn't tell people about this, you can go to any restaurant, put that in, and then put a big kind of an A and then a squig line, and that's my entire signature when I sign with my finger. It's very easy to copy. I mean, I don't feel safe when I do it. So we got to fix that too, can't we? I mean,
my partner's name also starts with A, and I think your signature and his signature is probably very similar.
That's what I'm saying.
But think about the credit cards. You tap.
Oh.
They don't even look at the thing, and sometimes you sign, sometimes you don't. I don't know.
Why do you not have to sign sometimes? This happened yesterday. My wife all of a sudden, hey, let's go out and have dinner. So we went out to a Mexican restaurant. Fine dinner. By the way, it was fantastic. But they come up, give them the card, and I'm standing there. Hit the little, and by the other way, this 15, 20, 25% tip automatic thing. Okay.
You can press no.
Yeah, and then you don't go back to that restaurant again. It's fine. They deserve tip. Hit the tip. But then you're waiting, and she goes, okay. Don't got to sign nothing? Nope. Huh. Well, how do they decide when I sign?
Interesting.
Yeah, didn't sign, but they did send me a receipt to my business, which was nice. I was like, okay,
I don't know. Maybe you should call the Commerce Committee chair and ask if there's any pending legislation about having to sign your credit card.
I think we have too many laws now, but it seems weird that sometimes it does. Sometimes when it's not much money, and like the Quick Trip or something, it just goes through. It's like, okay, no one's going to steal $12.
$4.
Yeah, but maybe that's it. I don't have any idea. But we both agree we need to sign in cursive. We need to learn to read it. How long did it take you to learn? Do you recall when they started? You knew all your letters, and then they're going to teach you how to squiggly them together. It didn't seem like that. Remember that taking that long?
I had the benefit. I'm the oldest child, and my dad, who as I think was in law enforcement, but his actual degree, his bachelor's degree, was in early childhood education.
Oh, that sucks for you.
Well, and that means he taught me to read when I was 2. So
yeah,
I honestly,
your deep
I walked
ocean
into
knowledge is
kindergarten knowing
showing
all the
again.
things, and back in the 80s, like you weren't supposed to know all the things walking into kindergarten. So I don't know. Like maybe they'll start in kindergarten now. Who knows?
See, that is the ocean brain of yours compared to my puddle. I knew crap. I don't know if my parents ever read me a book. I sat and watched Gilligan's Island. That's how I was raised. I don't even know. I'm pretty sure the first day when the teacher said, "Don't eat the glue," that was new to me. So, I mean, we started at a deficit. I got to go to break. I appreciate you, Shannon Watson. I really do.
I appreciate you back.
Get you back in the program next week. She's the deep ocean of knowledge on this program. She's Shannon Watson.